Hi, this is Tim from latest3dsgames.com, and I'm here with part 3 of my comparison of the Nintendo 3DS versus the PlayStation Vita. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to stretch it out into part 3A and part 3B, just simply because I can't fit in everything I want to, and as I've done it pretty comprehensively, as best I can, I thought, well, let's make it a proper job and make sure I get everything I want to included. So the part B, the final verdict, and a look at maybe the top 3 games will be this Friday, on Good Friday. That will be going up on Good Friday morning, and this part is obviously coming up to you right now. So I'm just going to touch my Vita screen before it turns itself off, and what I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at the sort of mainly the games at the moment in this video, and also I'm going to look at how the two consoles handle playing the games, and I'm also going to compare the sort of graphics and sound as best I can. I have got 2 identical versions of Harry Potter, and I'm doing a separate kind of comparison video of them as well, but I will include a mini version of that in this one as well. So there's loads to get in, so I better hurry up and get on with it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at a game on each system, and I'm going to use the games Resident Evil Revelations on Nintendo 3DS and Gravity Rush on the PlayStation Vita, quite simply because I think that they've got some fairly challenging control systems on both games, which is obviously a good comparison of the control system for the machines, and also because they've definitely got the some of the best graphics on the Nintendo 3DS, with Resident Evil of course, and Gravity Rush again, some of the best graphics and sound for the PlayStation Vita, and again the sound on Resident Evil is absolutely excellent. So in theory, obviously with the larger screen, and the higher resolution, more graphic capability, and the sound is slightly higher quality, you would think that the PlayStation Vita is going to be streets ahead, but let's just have a look at it in practice with these 2 games. I'm going to have to do it separately. There's no way I'm going to be able to play both games at the same time. I struggle with one, to be honest, so let's have a look at the Nintendo 3DS in action first of all. Okay, so first of all we're having a look at Resident Evil on Nintendo 3DS, and graphically and certainly sound wise, this is one of the best games to showcase the Nintendo 3DS. It really is very, very good, and it's very easy to control apart from when you like this, which is basically, I'm just leaning over the camera, same with the PlayStation Vita. But you can really appreciate it's got great lighting effects, really makes great use of the Nintendo 3DS. And this game is really good in 3D as well. So although the 3D, as we know, is a bit of a kind of, it's a non-necessity, but it's certainly in a game like this, it's very enjoyable, especially for things like boss fights, etc. So like I said, graphically, this is really very impressive for the Nintendo 3DS, and obviously games are just going to get better and better, and it's just funny that it's of course a PlayStation franchise, Resident Evil, and they've got this exclusive game on the Nintendo 3DS. A lot of people want this on the Vita as well. A lot of people I know have got the Vita really want this game. So that's just a very quick look at some of the graphics and sound from this one. So we looked at some of the best from Nintendo 3DS, so I'm on to PlayStation Vita now with Gravity Rush, and this really is a fantastic game. Again, like Resident Evil does for Nintendo 3DS, this really does it for the PlayStation Vita. Really does showcase the capabilities of the machine, and just what you can actually get out of both of these handheld consoles. If you're not familiar with this game, which I'm not particularly, you literally control gravity. and you can move all over the place and do all sorts of things. But graphically, graphics and sound wise, it really does, as I said, showcase what it can do on the PlayStation Vita. And the higher definition screen clearly shows its worth. And you know, does it really make that much difference over the Nintendo 3DS? Obviously, we're only going to really know when we kind of compare like with like, which I'm going to do in a minute, with Harry Potter versus Harry Potter. Although it's going to be more interesting to do something like a Resident Evil versus Resident Evil. But in real sort of terms, you know, they both look great, they both play great, they both sound great. What more could you want? So let's have a look at Harry Potter. Head on head. Okay, and we have finally got Harry Potter against Harry Potter, and you can probably see the difference. Graphically speaking, I guess it's just really just the definition and the quality of the screen. You can obviously see the smaller Nintendo 3DS version below, and the PlayStation Vita above. I'm going to do a proper comparison of this game head to head, but I'll just very briefly show you just to compare. Obviously you get the 3D, and it is quite nice on the Harry Potter game because it's not too in your face, and as you can see, as I'm zoomed in as if I was doing a video with 3DS, it does look nice, and in 3D again it's pretty nice and nice to play in 3D. Obviously you then got the difference of the much clearer, crisper, bigger screen on the PlayStation Vita, and obviously it's got a bit better definition, etc. Now sound wise, again it's just a little bit better. Well, let's just quickly listen. So this is the 3DS sound. Slightly different effects it's got to the PlayStation Vita. Sounds really great. And this is the Vita version. You can hear more of the bubbling cauldron in the background. Music's slightly better sounding, possibly. Not really much in it. If you're playing them, you really would hardly notice a difference, if at all. Okay, so first of all, I just thought I would actually kind of give my opinion on the actual controlling of the games. I'm going to show you some games in action in a second. So my feelings on the control pad and the control stick, if you like, of the thumbstick of the Nintendo 3DS, and the buttons and the shoulder buttons as well. Well, my opinion is that it's really, really easy to use, especially when you're not videoing. My only real control problems do come when I'm videoing. Kind of freehand, if you like. It's very comfortable to hold. It's pretty compact, as you can see. You've got the both screens, of course. So with games like Resident Evil, you can change weapons. You've got the touchscreen to do special moves, etc. You've got maps on games which would have maps, so you can clearly see the map and still have the top screen as well, showing all the action. So the actual two screens works really well with the control method as well. The actual pad works really well on the 3DS, and the buttons, as you'd expect, work really well. So really no complaints about them at all. Shoulder buttons, again, very comfortable to get to when you're playing normally. When you're playing restricted on a sort of tabletop like I do when I'm videoing, it is awkward, but you can't take that into account because most people aren't going to be doing that. So my opinion on the actual controls of the 3DS when playing games, as I'm going to show you in a minute, Resident Evil, it's very, very good indeed. No problems at all, and it's only a couple of the games which have got strange control methods which you're going to ever come across giving you any problems. Okay, and you can see the difference straight away. It's got kind of reversed controls, if you like. You've got the cross pad at the top on the PlayStation Vita with the thumb wheel, thumb pad, whatever, beneath. And of course you've got an additional one with the PlayStation Vita. And let me just give my verdict in practice what that means. So in practice, again, it's very responsive. and there's no real problems. I don't have a problem with the crosspad being at the top, and obviously it's got the additional thumb controller. I can obviously get that now on some Nintendo 3DS games with the additional Circle Pad Pro. So, you know, it's just, I do find it's obviously slightly bigger. It's a little bit less comfortable to hold and operate with the thumb controllers, and the actual machines just a slightly less uncomfortable. There's really not a lot in it, so I don't want to make a big thing of it. I've got to say, I actually prefer the thumb controller on the Nintendo 3DS. It's got a bit of a smoother feel. Both of them very responsive, and you wouldn't see any difference in gameplay if they're playing identical games, but it's just a little bit more comfortable, smoother on the Nintendo 3DS. That's my honest opinion. Really, there's not a lot in it, but I would actually give the edge to the thumb controller on the 3DS. So just in summary, for controlling the games, there's hardly anything in it. Just because of the physically larger size of the PlayStation Vita, because it's obviously wider and longer, it is slightly more uncomfortable to hold. And as I said, I slightly prefer the 3DS thumb controller. In practice, it's going to make very, very little difference. Just giving the very slight edge to the Nintendo 3DS, and in kind of, you know, actual sort of game handling and playability. Of course, it's going to make a difference when you've got a game which is more difficult to control on either system, but as an overall experience, there's hardly anything in it. So I'm just going to take a look at a couple of the other great games available for each system, and then we're going to look at some more games in the final part 3B, and we're also going to come to a conclusion. So of course we've got Mario Kart, and it's just fantastic. Basically, it's got a whole wealth of options in Mario Kart, a load of online options, and it's got some fantastic racing action as you scream around the circuits. Particularly good in online mode, and if you think it's aimed at kids, then really you haven't played it at all, because it is so competitive, and you can create your own groups, and it is just a fantastic load of fun. So that's Mario Kart 7, and of course another great game on the Nintendo 3DS, Dead or Alive Dimensions. Whole load of fun to play. Of course it's a kind of Xbox and PlayStation originator that works particularly well on the little handheld, and graphically and sound wise it looks really good. Again, it's a really good one in 3D as well, and it's a whole load of fun to play, and again got some great online options as well. So really just shows off the capabilities of the 3DS, this one. Okay, so on the PlayStation Vita you've got some classic shooting.
This is Command Operative. You're near the warehouse area now, so find those shipping manifests so we can trace their suppliers. Over.
With a Unit 13, and this is a pretty, I've got to say, this is a pretty underrated game, and it's a whole load of fun to play. Great online, and also great single player as well. So definitely one to look at, and as I said, definitely underrated as well. Very good game. However, if you're looking for something just that little bit different, and don't worry, you can still find that on the PlayStation Vita with things like this Escape Plan, a kind of puzzle game which makes great use of the PlayStation Vita features, and it's got a whole load of humour as you try and progress through the level. Whoops. So that's it for this part of the comparison, and it's supposed to have been part 3 complete, but it's going to be too long, so it's part 3A, and I will bring you the final part. Look at the last batch of games, so we'll be looking at another sort of 5 or 6 games for each system at least, and do my final verdict. So which one's going to come out on top? Is it going to be as like it is in the picture with the Nintendo 3DS on top? Or is it going to be the PlayStation Vita? Or should we just stick them both together and make a console which looks rather like that? Looks pretty good, I think. Anyway, find out on Friday when I post up part 3B, the final verdict, along with the final games. So this has been Tim at Latest 3DS Games. Thanks for watching.